Alright, just because the Pratt & Whitney is down doesn't mean I can't create something. Okay, now that I have the lathe the chuck properly tightened, and this is a Morris Taper number 2 aluminum center drill holder with the ejection pin turned on the mini lathe. Let's get a little wider view and get the chuck involved here. It's many inches of clearance here. Man, and I was at the White Elephant sale there, store. They had a bunch of stubby drill bits, I mean like 1 inch long. And man, if this was 2 years ago and I didn't have the Pratt & Whitney, I would have bought every one of those little stubby drill bits because you're so limited on this machine. And for $200 I could add 10 inches to this thing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take that on down a little bit. I'll bring you back. Okay, we'll step up to a little larger drill bit. Well, let's get this tailstock locked down first. First, let's get a little closer. There we go. We're gonna need every bit of that depth of that drill. Well, I think it's the first time I ever popped that breaker. I replaced the original fuse with a breaker, and I may have popped that breaker, and if I did, apparently it resets itself. But the lights got dim, and sometimes I push this thing a little further than it was intended to go, I think. Nonetheless, let's go a little more. I think that's as deep as we're gonna go. Let's see if my how deep my pilot hole is compared to what this drill bit did. Just take that whole thing off. Yeah, we reached the depth of our pilot drill. And we can get our boring bar in there now. And let's get this thing going here. I haven't used this thing in a long time, and I think I'm going to have to take quite a bit to... Okay, that's about 0. Let me turn my DRO on and see what kind of cut I can get. I have to make to get clearance. I'm going to have to do quite a bit unless I raise that tool up a little bit. Okay, I got I'm good on height. I can come down a hair. And I just need to cut my width to make my own path, I guess. So we're going to do a call it a negative 20 thousandths. That's more than 20 thousandths, I'll tell you that. Well, you know what? Let me put this thing in gear. I can use the power feed on this. I forgot all about that nonsense. Power feed so I can see how far I got. What I need to do is shorten this bar up. I think I'm in the bottom of the hole now. That's a tricky wire there. That's behaving more like copper than it does brass. I'm not saying it is brass, copper, but it is definitely showing a lot of characteristics of copper. Okay, I think I can get a little more depth out of this if I take a lighter cut. Let me go in there and feel around. Back. I better check that insert. That insert might be damaged. Let's try and take a little deeper. I got it cleaned up now. I know that. Yeah, that's copper, man. I think my MOSFETs are acting up. I'm not sure what a MOSFET is, but that's my go-to blame when something isn't working right. It's always the MOSFETs. Now I actually can go in another. I don't have the depth set on my bar, and I'm not going to change that. So let's just try to take some shallower cuts. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to tighten this machine up, and I'm going to tighten this machine up, and it'll be a good demonstration of rigidity. Okay, this might make a little difference. We tuned things up a little bit. The rattling is the table itself. It seems to have come unscrewed from the wall, I think. Or at least some of it is. I haven't used this machine much. It takes a lot of attention when it's used on a daily basis. Kind of a lot of, daily tuning. And we continue to go. Try a little heavier cut. Yeah, this is not behaving like brass. Surprised I didn't pick up on that. Actually, let me come back to that. Damper the table down a little bit. When I was going through the chips, when I was cleaning up all those drifts, and I was trying to salvage any of the brass that I could, I was grabbing, stuff like this, and more like this, and putting it in the brass jar, and it just didn't look right. So yeah, this is either bronze or something that has a high copper content. It's not the same color as the other coppers that I have, but it's definitely not soft brass. Well, I'm going to keep on boring this out till I get about I need to take away about 50% of that wall thickness. So I'll bring you back. Well, that's as shallow as I dare go. But it'll suit my purposes. But yeah, that's a mystery material for sure. Okay, lathe work doesn't stop just because the Pratt & Whitney is down. That whole thing was kind of like, you know, sex at 16 years old. It was just, bam, it was done. Not a whole lot of thought went into it to start with, and I certainly didn't take my time getting it done. But yeah, I like the finish I got in there. I like it so much. I think I may remove the work from the chuck. No, I'm not. I'm going to cut my internal threads first. That's right, I'm going to be cutting threads. And I'm going to have to put the thread dial on this machine, which is going to take an Allen wrench. Wonder where I put the thread dial. I got a feeling I know where it's at. Hey guys, like and subscribe, tell a buddy, bring a friend. It's back on the mini lathe. Roger that.